Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Pokemon Y2. I'm just the PokeGamer. In the last episode we kind of made our way to the belly of the Plasma Frigid, only to find Colress here, who happened to challenge us to a battle and took out, actually, believe it or not, 3 of our Pokemon. Speaking of our Pokemon, I leveled them up off screen. I even went back and got Electros. I also gave Lucario Ice Punch again, because Drain Punch isn't exactly what we need on it, at least from, our experience so far with it. Ice Punch just gives us a little bit more coverage, whereas Drain Punch is just there to kind of act as health recovery, even though it's not exactly necessary considering you can use health items if you need to. In a way it's kind of the same thing, but you're just able to get a little bit of damage off. So, I mean, I don't know. It's whatever to me, so we're just going to go with Ice Punch again, and, like I said, we also got back Electros. So, we warmly welcome him back. So, what I've decided that we're going to be doing today is we're going to be going to, I believe it's Route 14 that it's called, and to do that we have to go through Undella Town, and if we do so, you'll find out that Hugh is here, and he's talking about how Cynthia might be here, and she is, and if I'm not mistaken, we can even battle her right now, but we're going to be saving that for towards the end of the Let's Play. That or maybe whenever we get done in the Abundant Shrine. Which, I don't know, there's that, there's also the fact that we need to go to White Forest, there's a lot of things that we still can and need to go to, and see, and all that other crap. But yeah, he also challenges us to a battle, and his team consists of a level 62 Unfezant, if that shouldn't be obvious enough as it is already. He also has a level 62 Simisear, level 62 Bouffalant, level 62 Flygon, level 62 Electros, and as you're about to see, his ace is a level 64 Superior. So, yeah, and the Superior can be kind of a pain in the ass. It does have Leaf Storm, Leaf Blade, Dragon Tail, and Coil. It also carries the Miracle Seed. Electros is carrying the Leftovers. Flygon carries the Dragon Fang. Bouffalant carries a Muscle Band. Simisear carries a Charcoal, and the Unfezant carries the Scope Lens. Not that it's even relevant anymore considering it's already dead. So, yeah, there's that. I guess we can kind of get into some news as well. For those of us with Pokemon X and Y, which I'm hoping that everyone that's watching this has probably got Pokemon X and Y, a new patch has been made available on the Nintendo eShop, or the 3DS eShop, and whatever. This patch comes listed just to fix various bug fixes in the game, which we are still trying to determine, which is, I don't know what they're trying to determine which bugs they are, but whatever. The patch apparently requires 320 blocks to download, and you can access it using the QR codes over on Serebii, so be sure to go check that out. Doesn't hurt to keep it up to date, so might as well do that. I have that updated for my Pokemon X on my red 3DS, which is the Pokemon one that you saw me unbox on my channel. Then I have the update for Pokemon Y on my regular 3DS as well as my other 3DS, because I actually have the hard copy of that as well as the update on my red one, of course, despite the fact that I have the digital X on there. So I don't need the X on any of my other consoles because it's digitally downloaded on one unless I transfer it, and I'm pretty sure that if I transfer it over along with everything else in that DS, then guess what, the update will transfer too. So, I don't know. But yeah, there's that. Also, apparently a new trailer has been revealed or released or whatever for the Pokemon OmegaRuby and AlphaSapphire games. It doesn't really show too much, but it features different aspects of the upcoming games, so I mean something to check out. We need to talk. I mean, we kind of do. I mean, there's more to this Mega Evolution crap than everyone wants to believe. In the video in question, Blaziken is seen against a Poochyena Swarm, and there's been a lot of rumors of a Mightyena Mega, of course, like a lot of people talking about it, either wanting it or thinking that it could be a thing, considering Team Magma and Team Aqua. Of course, Gallade and not Gallade, but Sharpedo and Camerupt are already confirmed, so I don't know, maybe somehow, it'll be a thing later down the line, I don't know. But, Poochyena Swarm versus, Mega Blaziken, it's a thing. Then shows Glalie versus Flygon. you know, Flygon's not confirmed yet. So, continuing on, Pidgeot's seen versus a Walrein. Rayquaza is up against Swampert. Metagross is up against Rhyperior. Camerupt is seen against Shiftry. Sharpedo is against Ludicolo, and Gallade is against Slacking. I hate to say this, but this is all connecting very weirdly. Now, what do I mean by weirdly? Gallade is what is the result of a Ralts that he catches with a Pokemon that he borrowed from Norman, who is the gym leader for what's it called, and he's also your father. So, his ace is Slacking. Just kind of throwing that out there. I mean, coincidence? I don't know. There's also the fact that both Shiftry and Ludicolo were both seen in battle against other Pokemon that were capable of Mega Evolution. As we all are very well aware, Shiftry and Ludicolo are usually version exclusives to specific games. So I think the same with Sharpedo and Camerupt. I believe they're both exclusives to different games. I could be wrong about Sharpedo because I know that you can like fish for Carvanha, but I don't know if that's different for like the old games. I can't remember exactly because I used to have Sapphire, and I'm pretty sure that Sharpedo was exclusive to Sapphire back then, or if it was exclusive to any game, it was probably to Sapphire. So, just saying. I mean, I don't know. Just the fact that both Shiftry and Ludicolo were both given that honorable mention seems a bit, you know, there. Flygon is something that also seems a bit coincidental. I mean, when you think about it, like the guy with the secret bases is like, oh, I have a Flygon when you battle me. It's never occurred to anyone that you might get the Mega Stone from him at some point. Maybe you have to do something weird with the secret bases in order to have him give you it or something. I don't know. Maybe if you make a secret base, he's like, oh, well, cool. And then, you know, to commemorate the occasion, here's a Mega Stone for Flygon after you battle him and beat him or something. So, I mean, there's that. We've kind of mentioned before how Walrein's the ace of one of the Elite Four members. So, I don't know, that could be something. Rhyperior is the only one that seems to stand out. And I don't really know particularly why Rhyperior might get the Mega, but when you look at Aggron, it's kind of in a similar, like, boat. It's that Pokemon that looks really bulky, it's just there. I don't know. It just seems like a move that Game Freak or Nintendo, or Game Freak and Nintendo would probably pull over on everyone. So I don't know, these all seem like very likely legendaries, or not legendaries, but Mega Evolutions, my bad. But yeah, like they all seem like very likely Megas, and I gotta say, out of all of these, I would be looking forward to the most Rhyperior and Flygon. Slacking would be interesting, but there's no way in hell it's getting a ability change. Like, I think it has to have Truant, otherwise it's going to be one of the most broken Pokemon in the game. Then again, we kind of thought similar things about Kangaskhan, in the sense that, you know, once Parental Bond was revealed, that it was just going to be the most broken ability in the game, and it proved to be that, to the point where Kangaskhan was banned to Ubers. That or the Kangaskhanite, one of the two. I think it was just the Kangaskhanite, but regardless, if I'm not mistaken, there was actually a time when they actually suspect tested the Kangaskhanite in Ubers, which is kind of stupid. I mean, when a Pokemon gets that dumb, why did you even bother implementing it in the first place? I mean, don't get me wrong, Kangaskhan is manageable if you know what you're doing, but one wrong move and it can cost you the entire game, which that should never be how a Pokemon battle should be played out. So, again, why did you make Parental Bond a thing? But, yeah, I mean, I don't know, like, as long as Slacking doesn't get anything other than Truant, I think it'll be fine. I'm kind of curious as to what the hell they would do for the stat increases, considering the fact that it's already got a lot of, like, stats to play with. I mean, I can only see it maybe getting 2 stat increases, 1 stat decrease. They'd probably decrease the speed. I would say the attack stat doesn't need it. Maybe HP would get it. Maybe special defense. I don't know. But Slacking would be definitely an interesting Pokemon to get as a Mega. As for Rhyperior, I don't know. I mean, it would be kind of nice, but at the same time, I don't know. It just seems like something that you would probably end up... you might either regret putting it on your team, or it might be one of those things that just goes, oh, well, I'm just going to just completely destroy everything. I feel like it would still get like the Rocky Head ability, or the Rock Head ability. I think it's Rock Head, not Rocky, but I think it would still have something like that, which would be kind of ridiculous when you think about it. It has like Head Smash, like stuff like that. I can't remember that one rock move that they get. Maybe it is Head Smash. I don't know if I can remember. But all I know is it has like a 120 or 150 base power recoil damage move. That Rock Head would just make it freaking retarded. That's another thing, by the way. I'm kind of afraid that we'll get something like Reckless on what's it called, Emboar somehow, because we ended up getting Generation 1 and Generation 6 Pokemon, or not Pokemon, but starters in X and Y. They could give us other starters, which, I mean, when you think about it, I mean, Hidden Ability Tepig would be ridiculous. I mean, Reckless with things like Heat Crash, I believe, is a recoil move. There's also, again, Head Smash. There's a lot of things that it just has for recoil moves that just make it ridiculous. Not to mention it has fairly decent coverage. Of course, the fact that it's kind of slow is like, okay, but you could just make it a really bulky Pokemon and like, okay, why the hell not? But I don't know. I'm very much looking forward to the game. I don't know about anyone else, but the Team Aqua and Team Magma battle music is probably the most hyped music I've ever heard in Pokemon. And I'm sure that a lot of people would disagree with me with this, but I honestly love Generation 3 the best. Gen 2 is a very, 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 very close second, and I don't even count Generation 1, believe it or not. I don't actually count like Red, Blue, Yellow as a generation, partly because they're kind of attached to the second generation. I mean, okay, Yellow, maybe I can consider Pokemon Yellow to be Generation 1, but when you think about it, I mean, Red and Blue were kind of already attached to Johto. They just didn't implement it in the first games, probably for obvious enough reasons. I mean, that'd be a lot of Pokemon to have to go through right out of the gate. So, I mean, in a way, you could say that Generation 2 is literally just like I wouldn't want to say downloadable content for Generation 1, but something along those lines, like an extra attachment to it. It's kind of like a puzzle piece. You just added that extra puzzle piece to it in a later version of the game, giving a lot of people more Pokemon to play with, etc. So that's in a way why I don't really consider some of those Generation 1 games actually Generation 1, because they're kind of tied in with Generation 2. So that's why Generation 2 is kind of high up there for me as well. I'm not taking away the nostalgia of the first games, don't get me wrong. It's just that I feel like Generation 1 is literally kind of split into two, and that's why I kind of just consider them all to be basically Generation 2, because Generation 2 also goes back to the Kanto region. They're both attached to each other. So I don't know if I really need to explain this any more than I already have, so I mean, there's that. But yeah, and then I'd have to say after those two would be Generation 5. Generation 4 was bland to me. I liked it, don't get me wrong, but it could have been a lot better. I mean, when you think about the times that Cynthia would be like, oh hey, I'm suddenly here and I'm just not doing anything for you. I mean, seriously? You couldn't... At least when you look at it, Steven kind of tagged up with you in battles from time to time, you know, stuff like that. I think there might have been one instance where Cynthia did something like that. I can't really remember off the top of my head now. But still, I mean, she never really had much relevance out of just being the champion and being that character that just like, oh hey, I'm suddenly right here. Oh look, these things just decide not to move because they don't want to, or you know, things like that. She just really didn't do much for the story. And I mean, at least when you look at it, Steven back in Generation 3 was like, oh hey yeah, whatever, do this or whatever, and he helped you with like the Devon scope and all this other crap. And he even had like a role in the whole, oh I'm gonna go search for stones, and, you know, the Devon Corp, you know, stuff like that. So I mean, he just kind of tied in with a lot of that, and I feel like that's why he kind of solidified his place, despite the fact that he didn't do much else outside of being champion. So I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. But anyways, I have nothing more to say because, of course, you know, we're over 15 minutes. So in the next episode, we're going to be making our way to the Abundant Shrine, and then probably after that, making our way to get Earthquake, because I want to give that to Lucario. I feel like we're going to need it in the near future. So, yeah. So we'll be doing that in the next episode. If you haven't already, don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and until next time, this is the PokeGamer, signing out.